What's up, mi gente? This is your host Andres, and I welcome you to Were You Listening? An exploration of blackness in the songs we love. Pa' que baile el negro viejo de mi piel vieja. Today, we'll be listening to La Quiero Negra, I Want Her Black by Joe Arroyo.
Were You Listening is a series of the Mixedtape podcast, which aims to center the contribution of Black people and culture across Latin America, the Caribbean, and their diaspora through dance and music. If you are looking to practice your bilingual skills, mira, si tú quieres practicar, there is also a Spanish version of this episode. Así que ve y lo escuchas en español también. Follow us on Instagram at themixedtapepodcast and click the link tree in our bio to find all of our episodes across platforms including Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube.
You probably know Joe Arroyo from his hit song Rebelión, which contains the famous phrase "No le pegue a la negra, no le pegue a la negra." We have already contextualized that powerful song elsewhere in the series, so go check it out. It's a really great episode. Joe was born in 1955 in Cartagena, Colombia, in a poor household and began singing when he was 8 years old. He launched his professional career at age 15 and shortly after joined the salsa band Fruco y sus Tesos, with whom he would spend the next 10 years of his career developing a style which would help further differentiate Colombian salsa from other styles. Joe had a fascination for the night, which he confirmed in an interview declaring, I quote, "The night inspires me," end quote. This fascination transpires in some of his songs including La Noche, The Night, and Centurión de la Noche, Centurion of the Night. In fact, Centurión de la Noche was one of his nicknames. Although La Quiero Negra does not enjoy the same fame as other songs in his catalog, I ask you to stick with me during this episode. I assure you, you won't regret it. I mean, after all, you didn't expect me to only bring you famous songs, did you? I also want to bring some hidden gems to your curious ears. We can all benefit from understanding these gems and putting them in our playlists. And there's sort of a full circle moment with this episode. When I wrote the first version of this episode back in November of 2020, I decided to work on this song as a way to celebrate the fact that Kamala Harris had become the first Black Asian American Vice President of the United States after an uninterrupted line of white men. I trust that you guessed already what the full circle is. Well, we find ourselves now at the end of an election campaign, days away from Election Day, and Kamala Harris is now a presidential candidate facing none other than Donald Trump. I know, I say we find ourselves, like I can vote or something. But after 14 years of living in the US, paying taxes, and a PhD in economics, I'm still not a citizen of the United States. I guess I should have pursued that marriage route a taxi driver once suggested me. I'm joking, of course. But precisely for that reason, because I can't myself vote, I'm so very thankful for the work of many Black women politicians, activists, and voters who contributed back in 2020 to remove Donald Trump from office, an administration characterized for its racist, discriminatory rhetoric and policies. And despite numerous concerns I have about Kamala's stance regarding the extreme, unjust suffering of the Palestinian people, which we fund, I cannot imagine another 4 years of Donald Trump. But then again, I don't get to choose. So you all better go out and vote. La Quiero Negra offers an infectious rhythm and a thoughtful, direct message of appreciation for Black women. Through this song, I want to celebrate that very important role Black women play in politics. To that effect, I have invited today several black women to reflect on what it means for them to have Kamala Harris as their potential president. They spoke to me with all their hopefulness and all their skepticism too. Let's listen.
Pa' que baile el negro viejo de mi piel vieja. Donde hay una negra para yo tocarle el tamboril. Donde hay una negra para yo tocarle el tamboril.
Pa' que baile el negro viejo de mi piel vieja. Donde hay una negra para yo tocarle el tamboril. This is for the old black man to dance, the one of my same old skin. Where can I find a black woman for me to play tamboril to her? According to the book Carnaval de Barranquilla, La Fiesta Sin Fin, Barranquilla's Carnival, the never-ending party, the tamboril, which is used in the carnival's festivities, is a narrow drum that produces a deep sound and it's played with the hands. Joe Arroyo himself spent many years of his life in Barranquilla, a city that adopted and celebrated him, and that is well known for its carnaval. Pero bueno, lo prometido es deuda. As I promised you, in this episode we will use the context of La Quiero Negra to reflect on the presidential candidacy of Kamala Harris. And instead of me attempting to thread a story through the opinions of the remarkable women we are about to hear, I present to you their full opinions as they gave them to me. And we start with Kimberly Nicole. Kimberly is a corporate communications professional in the tech industry, a professional kizomba and semba dancer with many years of experience, and the director of Kizomba RDU Dance Company.
To me, Kamala Harris as a presidential candidate means hope and inspiring the next generation to believe that anything is possible. Hope that hopefully this will change the perception of what a woman of color, and more specifically a Black woman, is. That finally people will see our intellect, our ambition, our power, our leadership, our beauty, our grace, our empathy, our humanity. For so long, we have been painted as things that we are not, and it is my hope that people will finally be open to see the reality of what it means to be a Black woman. When talking about inspiring the next generation, I think about the picture of Kamala Harris's great niece watching her accept the presidential nomination at the Democratic National Convention and how powerful that image was. Growing up, yes, there have been many women throughout history who have been activists, community leaders, politicians, and so much more. But to know that a woman, a Black woman of that, can ascend to the highest position in our country and the free world is knowing that anything is truly possible.
Yo la quiero negra, yo la quiero negra, la negra que pasea el negro la desea si reza un dicho acá en mi tierra.
Yo la quiero negra, yo la quiero negra. La negra que pasea, el negro la desea. Así reza un dicho acá en mi tierra. I want her black, I want her black. The black woman who passes by, the black man desires. So goes a saying here where I'm from. Let me do here a reverse double entendre of sorts and say that I dream of a society in which the majority of men can bring themselves to desire and wish for a woman president, and certainly for a Black woman president. Let us men renounce all the stiff and rigid notions of masculinity that are imposed on us and that do not serve us. Let us use our masculine freedom to explore and create our own notions. Let us open ourselves to the knowledge and wisdom of women, which has been kept away from the highest positions of power for many years. I believe we stand to win a great deal from unlocking the doors of powerful positions to the wisdom of women. I believe such development will unlock our own wisdom, free from inflexible molds of what it means to be a man and what it means to exercise and display strength. Con mucho cariño para Ajá, una negra. Yo voy a tocarle el tamboril. Y con mi tono de voz, yo quiero llegarte al corazón. Eres la raza que sufre discriminada. Levanta la frente con honor. That's right, a black woman. I'm going to play tamboril for her. And with the tone of my voice, I want to reach your heart. You are the race that endures discrimination. Raise your head up with honor. Now let's hear from Stephanie Watkins. Stephanie is a proud Afro-Latina. Shout out Afro-Latinos! And passionate advocate for affordable housing and equitable community development. During the day, she works as the Director of Housing Policy at the North Carolina Housing Coalition. During the night, she's a seasoned social dancer and a member of the dance company Mambo Dinámico.
As I reflect on the importance of Kamala Harris running for president and really the value and the impact that I think it's already having even before election time, I can't help but note that it's a campaign that gives me a lot of mixed feelings. I think both positive and negative. On the positive side, and really at the forefront, it is amazing as a mixed woman myself to see another mixed woman on the national stage talking about policies that matter, trying to really stave off a really dangerous alternative to her presidency. And I think that is what brings me the most excitement. I can tell that there's a lot of energy coming from her campaign. She's inspiring a lot of people. And I think that is an energy that we have lacked a bit at the national level. I think she also represents for me the complicated nature of placing all of our hope in politicians. I think she is a public servant with a long career already behind her. And although I don't agree with a lot of the decisions that she made as a prosecutor, nor do I agree with a lot of her stances and positions on the genocide happening in Palestine, I do think that she is prepared to work. And I think that she is a prime example of what it means to dedicate your life to public service and dedicate your life to a country that needs a lot of work put into it. And so I really await this election with some anxiety, but also with some excitement. And it is amazing to see someone with a similar cultural background at this point in her career, and to be able to possibly even see them in the White House again, but this time in the highest position that we have in our country.
Ajá, una negra. Oh, negra de mi piel. Ajá, una negra. Cántame tú, mi negra. Ajá, una negra. Únete a mi cuerpo hasta morir. Ajá, una negra. Que vamos bailando el tamboril. That's right, a black woman. Oh, black woman of my own skin. That's right, a black woman. Sing to me, my black woman. That's right, a black woman. Become one with my body until the end of your days. That's right, a black woman, as we dance to the tamboril. That's right, a black woman. And another black woman we have here, Nicole Ahima. Nicole is an incredible salsera and dance instructor with many years of experience. She is the director of Nashville Salsa Dancing. Coincidentally, I just saw the other day a picture of a dance congress in Atlanta in which we appeared to be taking a dance class side to side before we knew each other years ago. Moreover, I remember dancing with Nicole a mean salsa in a congress in Chicago to Ismael Rivera's El Negro Bembón, which, guess what? It's a song we have already analyzed in our Were You Listening series. Talk about full circles. Anyways, what's up, Nicole?
Yo, Kamala Harris is running for president. And I don't know. The question was like, how is this important to me? And when I first saw that question, I was just like, I never really gave it any thought because it just is so mind blowing. I don't even think that my brain fully wrapped around it. But a couple of things that I will say, America will finally be great when she becomes president. So for all those people who wanted America to be great again, congratulations, you got your wish. I deeply believe in manifestation and you got what you asked for. I'm excited. I do think that as an African American woman in the United States, I would be lying if I did not say that there was a fear component involved in this. I remember when she was elected, how many Black women on Instagram, on social media that I saw that were nervous. And I remember thinking, we cannot be nervous right now. We cannot send fearful energy her way. We have to send uplifting vibes and we have to mobilize as we always have. And even though we're tired, clearly that is our mission this lifetime. And this is another one and we have to do it. But I will say, as time has gone on, even though she's safe, I do feel nervous for her being in that position. I think she'll do great at that position if the people around her protect her. But I also am nervous for Black women in America when she accepts that position. It is a change that a lot of people do not want to see. There are people who are, you would think, allergic to change and react very violently when confronted with change, especially of something of this magnitude. And so I am interested to see how it will go. But if everybody could just be like Joe Arroyo, then we would be in a good place now, wouldn't we?
La verdad, de nuevo. Negra que tiene la piel de miel y que me alegra el ambiente. Nunca te olvides, mi negra, de darle un ejemplo a los descendientes. Negra que tiene la piel de miel y que me alegra el ambiente. En esos tiempos de esclavitud demostraste solo la virtud. Negra que tiene la piel de miel y que me alegra el ambiente. En esos barcos negreros se vino un negro que era mi abuelo. Negra que tiene la piel de miel y que me alegra el ambiente. Negra tu piel, negra el color y la sabiduría del rey Salomón.
Negra que tiene la piel de miel y que me alegra el ambiente. Nunca te olvides, mi negra, de darle un ejemplo a los descendientes. En esos tiempos de esclavitud demostraste solo virtud. En esos barcos negreros se vino un negro que era mi abuelo. Negra es tu piel, negro el color y la sabiduría del rey Salomón. Black woman whose skin is made of honey and brings joy to my life. Never forget, my black woman, to be an example for the next generations. In the times of slavery, you displayed nothing but virtue. In those ships of enslaved black people came a black man who was my grandfather. Black is your skin, black the color, and the wisdom of King Solomon. Cartagena, Joe's birthplace, was one of the main ports through which enslaved Africans entered the country. King Solomon in the lyrics refers to the biblical king who is revered in Christianity for his wisdom. Joy is comparing, of course, the wisdom of black women to that of King Solomon. Let us then hear the wisdom of Courtney Feliz. Courtney is a seasoned social dancer and an assistant director for the North Carolina Brazilian Arts Project, a beautiful project of Brazilian arts. If you don't know them, check them out.
Kamala Harris's presidential candidacy brings up a lot of mixed emotions for me. On the one hand, I'm really, really excited because representation matters. She is a Black and Indian woman. I am also Black and Indian myself. I love how she leans into her mixed identity and doesn't choose a side, and challenges folks that force or try to force mixed folks to choose sides. And I also recognize I didn't meet another Black and Indian person until I was in high school. So seeing her in the White House, seeing her in her presidential campaign, seeing her serve as VP of the United States is amazing and really cool to see. On the other hand, I have some other conflicting feelings about some of the political stances she has made as a prosecutor and also while serving in the White House as the Vice President of the United States. I am particularly saddened by and really discouraged by our current response to the genocide happening in Palestine and our continued support of funding and weapons to Israel. And I wish that we were taking a different approach and acknowledging the outcry that is happening across the United States in response to this genocide. And that's just one of the things I'm concerned about with her presidential candidacy. And as I mentioned, I'm still very excited about the possible representation of having a Black and Asian woman serve as President of the United States.
Negra que tiene la piel de miel y que me alegra el ambiente. Negrita, tú llegaste a mi vida en la noche de mi amargo penar. Y se forma la rumba en el solar y los negros te van a casar, la van a formar. En salsa nació esa negra, en salsa nació ese negro. Black woman whose skin is made of honey and brings joy to my life. Negrita, dear black woman, bitter sorrow I was the night when you arrived in my life. And a party emerges in the solar and the black men are going to hunt you. They're going to lit the party. In salsa, the black woman was born. In salsa, the black man was born. The word solar here, which you may have heard many times before in Cuban and Puerto Rican music, refers to humble places of living, often of community living, in which the common areas were often witness of music and dancing. These last verses draw the cultural connection between black women and men and the music they created and influenced, what today we call salsa. And as our final guest, I present you with Serena Spears, or Serena, she would probably say. A black woman who certainly makes dance parties emerge and brings joy to our lives. Serena is a corporate pension consultant as well as a professional dancer and teacher with experience in many Afro-diasporic, indigenous, and Western styles of movement.
Growing up, I always hoped I'd have the opportunity to vote for a president who looked like me. A black woman that would break the nearly uninterrupted string of so many white men. So now that I have the chance, I have to say I'm incredibly disappointed to not feel that immense pride and excitement that I expected to. The older I get, the more I think about a phrase my dad used to say, not all skin folk are kinfolk. I often find myself observing this pattern of black and brown people who've been put in places of privilege and power, prioritizing the status quo and their own personal gain over the much-needed fight for progress and equality for disadvantaged communities around the world. Listening to Kamala speak about aspirational things she would do as president when she's already vice president feels disingenuous. And watching her and much of the Democratic Party sidestep involvement in the major fights of our generation, namely climate change, genocide in the Middle East and Africa, and the continued criminalization and murder of Black and Brown people at the hands of our legal system, is such a letdown when compared to the ideal Black female president of my childhood dreams. I think being surrounded by so many thoughtful and politically active people in my life has really raised my standards of expectation for what I would want to see in a presidential candidate coming from our community. As much as I'd love to support a Black woman for the most powerful position in the country, I'm sad to feel that my moral and ethical values don't seem to align with Kamala's current platform, and it's so incredibly conflicting for me.
There you have it, a mosaic of opinions, hopefulness, skepticism, and a deep desire for accountability. As it pertains to this beautiful song, which we have used as our framework, it's really a hidden gem. Notice, for instance, how its direct message barely leverages the features of the Black woman's body, a theme common in salsa songs which are written and performed mostly by men. Instead, the song presents the Black woman as a complete human being, a victim of slavery and discrimination, but most importantly, her own beacon of virtue and wisdom, an example for future generations. Ultimately, it's hard not to appreciate the song's direct message, La Quiero Negra, I want her black. I'm so thankful for the amazing Black women I have the honor to know. I want to especially thank my dear friends Serena, Nicole, Stephanie, Courtney, and Kimberly for courageously sharing their opinions with our audience during these very contentious times and for recording in both languages. Aren't they freaking amazing? I have a deep admiration for you, for your courage. And I also want to thank my dear friend Lauren Wilmore, who helped me with transcriptions and who did the Spanish voiceover for Kimberly's opinion. You don't understand, y'all, how thankful I am for your help. As time passes and people in the dance community struggle to reshuffle their priorities and are less willing to donate time to this kind of work, your support gives me strength to continue with this arduous but beautiful work. I also want to thank my co-host, Dr. Melissa Villaras, who edited this episode. And to our audience, thank you so much for being here with us today. I'm your host, Andres Hincapié, and if you were not listening, now you are.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. To hear today's song or other songs featured on the Were You Listening series, check out the Were You Listening playlist, which can be found at our brand new website, themixedtapepodcast.com. Be sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at mixedtape.podcast, as well as Twitter and YouTube, which are easily accessed through our website. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications for our posts. This episode was sponsored by Orange County Arts Commission. Thanks for listening. This is Mixtape.